it's really, really not wise to listen to something and then not discern it for yourself. Because if you don't discern it, you may accept it without discernment, and that's really not wise. Because you can be led into things that are definitely not lovely and of good report, which you can tell by television that it's predominant.
Yeah. Why is God doing this to me?
Yeah, why? If he were, then you'd be justified. That was it. If God's doing it to you, then it would be justified. But he's not doing it to you. He's doing it through you, through your thinking and feeling. And he gave you to choose this day, so he's assuming that if he gave you to choose something, you'd go choose the better. But then again, we weren't really brought up that way. We were brought up to be suspicious. We were brought up to, as Wallace Berry said it, do them the dirty before they do you the dirty. And you see, if you don't change that, then it's in the back of your mind, and it will kind of be a guide to you in many things. Because have you ever done something and said, well, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why did I
say that?
Yeah, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Really. I just put my foot in my mouth. Well, maybe that's a good place to fit it. keep you strangled for a while, anyway. But that's what it is. I mean, we cause our unhappiness just by thinking about unhappy things, and it's really very simple. And just take it for a moment and think that if it's so simple to think on things that are unlovely, why shouldn't it be just as easy to think on things that are lovely and of good report?
Absolutely. So my question to you is, what do you say to? I'm somebody who lives in the real world. I look at what's going on in the world, and I'm looking at reality. I'm not thinking about fairy tale thinking. What you guys are talking about is not reality. So I'm somebody who lives in the real world. What do you say to that person?
Well, that is the real world. The world that you're living in, it's a real world. It's not reality, but it is a real world. And all of these things around you are solid and real appearing. But any scientist is going to tell you that it's not solid. The air could actually pass through it if it gets between the little molecules. But you're always thinking ahead of your evidence. Just remember that. You're always thinking ahead of your evidence. And the evidence tells you what you thought ahead of your evidence. But if you ignore the evidence or deny the evidence, then you deny that you had anything to do with it, which sets you up to do it again. It's really a circle, isn't it?
It is a circle. And when you said you're always thinking ahead of your evidence, especially after us discussing the real, the evidence, the so-called evidence, is the real in our world of imagining. And what I mean by that, it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. What we're operating in, you call it virtual reality, rightly so. We're operating in the shadow, and we think that the shadow is the real in this thing called reality. But the imagination is the catalyst, the director of what we call the real. And quantum physics, quantum mechanics, all of these other scientific theories basically say the exact same thing. What we give our attention to becomes the real in this world of imagining. Would you agree?
That's right. That's it. What has your attention has your life. So if you're being happy, then you'll continue to be happy as long as you continue to be happy.
Well, there's a downside to that, too, if you're being miserable.
Of course. That's it. Everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. You have to choose it. If you want to be happy, you have to choose to be happy. You have to make a decision to be happy, because it's there. I mean, it's there. I mean, I could, if I came in and hand you a bucket full of money, I'm sure you'd smile.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, then, in your imagination, see someone handing you a bucket of money. I know it. It sounds so ridiculous at times, but the fact is, and you can check the fact by just doing it yourself, you think only on things that are lovely and of good report and see what you get. You're told it's lovely and of good report, but what will you get? But what are you thinking? You have to stay in the same state of mind. You can't jump to a negative state of mind and expect to carry with you what you were thinking when you were in a positive state of mind, because you can only think one thought at a time. So if you're thinking a negative thought, remember, everything produces after its own kind. So if you're thinking a negative thought, you get another one coming, and then another one coming, and then another. That's how it happens to me.
Well, you said something. You said it sounds ridiculous, and I thought about it. We do this all the time. Now, we're not aware that we're doing it.
No.
But I want to give each and every one of us an example. You go to a 2-hour movie. That 2-hour movie takes you through ups and downs. At one moment, the boy meets girl, and everybody in the theater is happy. They have this wonderful, loving relationship. Somebody dies. Everybody's spirits goes down. And in the end, the girl meets a new boy, and everybody's spirits goes up. You have the situation with the villain, and you're wondering if they're going to get killed, and you basically take on this spirit of fear at the moment. My point is, we do this all the time.
That's right.
What we're asking you to do is to be more conscious in your doing for the purpose of manifesting the kind of life that you desire.
You know what the Walking Dead are?
What's that?
The unconscious.
Absolutely.
If you don't have consciousness, then you're the Walking Dead.
Absolutely.
So, be conscious. Be conscious. That it sounds so super simple, but if you get lost in thought, you can create stuff that'll bug you for the rest of your life. Now that's a reason not to be lost in thought. But and then one lady told me, she said, well, when I'm lost in thought, I'm really thinking of nice things and lovely things. And I said, but then you're not lost. You win. You're agreeing with what you're doing. So you're not lost in thought. He said, well, I never thought of it that way. I go, I know. That's why I'm here.
That's pretty good.
Well, you got to keep humor in it, because people can. One thing said, and someone can fall off into depression. I know that sounds like that's pretty instant, but really,
it happens all the time. Somebody criticizes us. Somebody doesn't think the way that we think that they should think. They say something about something we're wearing, our new shoes, our new clothes, whatever, our haircut. All of a sudden, because we didn't get that approval instantly, we can be in a state of depression. So absolutely.
But you create the state of depression by paying attention to what they're paying attention to. So in other words, you created the situation yourself. They may have said it, but you took it. Absolutely. You ate it. You swallowed it.
You swallowed the scroll. Absolutely.
That's it. Look, people put down in writing. It was the first form form of communication other than just talking. But even if they did it with chisels and stone, but they were a message of the best that they came up with. And that's what all of these books that we're reading are. It's the best that they've come up with. And that's all you really need is the best they came up with. And they already came up with it before you. So therefore, it's all around you. There's no excuse whatsoever to stay uninformed because it's out there. I know because someone put me on the internet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how I found you.
You know, why didn't I do that? Oh, well. We live and learn, huh?
Absolutely. You know, I was talking to somebody recently, or we were actually messaging back and forth, and the person had inquired. They were under the impression that the only person that I listened to was Neville Goddard. And I said, no, nothing could be further from the truth. What I had listened to, and I know you're likewise, I mean, we both have libraries. And in my library, I probably have easily 2,000 books. In my digital library, I have maybe 5,000 to 10,000 books, and then I have audio programs and everything else. But I listen to those people that I find agreement with. If the person's negative or if they're outside in the left field someplace, then they're probably not going to resonate with me. But to say, and like I said, I know with you also, the host of people that you listen to, so we may talk about Neville a lot, but we have a arsenal. We have a library full of other people that are speaking by way of their words into our spirits. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, actually, every one that I've read was just another step. You know, I mean, I got something from him, and then I read another book and I got something from that one. I read another book and I got something from that one. And I read another one and I got something from that. Now I had all of these things lined up that I got from these different books. But the thing of it is that when I heard Neville, he pulled it all together. You see, he made a bigger picture than what I was looking at with what I had gotten. And so that's what it is. Each one of these people will relate something to you. You may not even care about what else they said, but they did say something that really resonated with you. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And as long as you're getting that, you're setting yourself up to get more. You see, information, if you actually obtain a little bit that lifts you even a little bit, well, that sets you up to be now in a series of catching those ideas that pick you up. It's easy to get down, and then it's easier to go down and down after you're already down.
Absolutely.
But you can change your mind and change your world. Now, that's simple enough. It's not something that's going to take a lot of doing to just change your mind, because you can change your mind in a second and then even forget what you were thinking a moment ago.
It's true.
I do that quite often. What was I thinking about? What did I come down here for? What did I go up here for? Yeah. So, but the thing of it is that that's the reason for all the reiteration, is that you remember it, so that when you need it, it's there. Because that's it. You don't remember. That man. It's Neville that said, man's a very poor dreamer, and he doesn't even remember what he dreamed. And then when he's experiencing it, he denies it, which he denies himself, because he did it, and he's denying he did it. So you're giving away your power by denying you did it. And if you give it away a little bit, why didn't you give away all of it? So it's always up to you. Just be aware of what you're thinking, and that's simple enough. Keep it simple, because that was the only. I wouldn't have gotten any of this if I hadn't kept it simple.